Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Rillaboom Community Day, which is going to be happening tomorrow from when I release this video. This is going to be most likely a video that's also interesting even if this Community Day passed. But of course, today we're going to take a look at this Community Day, why it's so important, because actually Rillaboom is going to get a move that is the strongest ever released in Pokemon GO, in my opinion. At least you can say maybe there are some that are maybe equal as strong, but this is definitely one of the most bustest moves that has been ever created. And that's going to be very interesting. So today, of course, we're going to take a look at the Rillaboom. We have top teams, we have what you kind of want to have for this Pokemon, and also a little bit more of the future of this Pokemon. And so, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe, as a Rillaboom is covering up right now that only half of you are actually subscribed to this channel. So feel free to hit the drum and yeah, let's move on to the next one. We are going to take a look here now real quick at the event. The event is going to be from the 18th of January from 2 till 5 p.m. And we're going to have, of course, a 3-hour instance. We're going to have Catch Stardust times 3. We're going to have Catch Candy, all this good stuff again. And yeah, basically, we're going to have a new shiny release as well with that one. Rillaboom as a shiny is going to be cool as well. And it's going to get the signature move of drum beating. And this is actually kind of interesting because what we only knew prior is that it's going to be 60 damage as well as lowering the opponent's attack by 1 stage. But now in the code, we found it as well the energy value for it, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, as this is going to be one of the best community days kinda-ish maybe for the future. Right now it's still going to be a bit, if you want to talk a bit about this as well, of course, in this video, but here you're going to see kind of on what you want to focus on. The IVs on the right side as well, going to be quite interesting, as you're going to see as well for the Great as well as for the Ultra League. They all have a very low level, so it might be kind of interesting even for myself at least. Take a look at this Pokemon in the Master League Premier Cup, which is currently around, but that is going to be again for tomorrow and also for the day after. I want to kind of make 2 videos towards this Pokemon, so yeah, stay tuned again for this on this channel, because I do think that this Pokemon is going to be a bit better than people expect. Of course, here, yeah, there's going to be just generally a Pokemon that you want to get as well as rewards for this community day is kind of great. You have 3 times Catch Stardust, but you haven't seen anything from Rillaboom yet, and this is for a good reason. Rillaboom itself is going to have access to a pretty bad moveset currently. You're going to have Razor Leaf, which is actually got nerfed quite often as well. It only generates 2 energy per turn, which is really, really low. It was before like kind of more of a degenerate move, because what you have here is a lot of damage per turn, which is kind of nice. But with the low energy per turn, you kind of need a lot of fast moves, which you see as well, in order to get to any move. For example, for the Earth Power, which is the only coverage move that this Pokemon learns, which is actually a solid coverage move, but like, yeah, it takes 14 fast moves in order to get there, which is ages. Like, that takes ages to get there. But this is where the new community move that you, by the way, don't need an elite TM for. You need an elite TM if you have like one already for Frenzy Plant. But I do think you want to drop Frenzy Plant. I don't think you want to run Frenzy Plant at all, because drum beating, as you're gonna see here, is absolutely broken. This move is going to be 35 energy, which is for a Pokemon that generates 4 energy per usage of the fast move. Quite solid, because you need only 9 and then in order to get to a drum beating, which is totally fine. It's still kind of slow, by the way, in the current meta. The general turns that you would need for a charge move, I think on average, is around 10. This is basically double. But still, this Pokemon is at least going to have the option now to get to a move okay speed, but drum beating itself has 60 damage and 100% chance to drop the opponent's attack by 1 stage. This is unheard of. This has not been the case ever. The only debuffing moves really that are in play, which have also a 100% guaranteed chance to drop the opponent's attack by 1 stage, something like Icy Wind, which is also 60 damage, but for 45 energy. And this kind of showcases how strong drum beating actually is. And if you take a look at the moves that this Pokemon could learn in the main CS games, you would see the fast move of Mud Shot being possible as well, which would actually put this Pokemon immediately into the top meta. So like, it's 1 move update away of being top meta, and like, that is kind of interesting for a Pokemon like Rillaboom, which was considered to be basically nearly impossible to make strong, but thanks to drum beating being such a broken move, it might actually become very solid in the future. Does it become top meta? Most say not with a pure grass typing. Pure grass type is quite difficult to play, but I think it has some potential, at least now, thanks to the new move drum beating. But let's take a look here real quick on what this Pokemon can do in the Great League as well, and what this is going to change kind of for it. As you can see on the left side, it's going to be what it currently can do with the Grass Knot and Earth Power moveset. And of course, I'm not going to put Mud Shot onto it yet, because Mud Shot is not available for this Pokemon yet. By the way, there are some other moves that they could put into the game that this Pokemon could learn then as well that are not yet in the game as a fast move, which would be kind of cool. I feel like there's a lot of potential for a lot of moves that they should put into the game yet. But as you're gonna see here, drum beating allows you to actually pick up 2 more matchups against the Celio as well as against the Azumarill, which is going to be great for you. But basically, we're going to talk about on how to play this Pokemon as well in the team building section for this video. But basically, there is a way of maybe making matchups a little bit even better for you. But here, as you're gonna see, this is going to be a better upgrade here for sure. And again, you want to drop Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is actually not great on this Pokemon. Frenzy Plant is actually a move that I wouldn't recommend you to even put onto this Pokemon, like at all. I don't think it's a great move to have. And so I would rather recommend you to try to go ahead and go for drum beating on this thing, and go keep, of course, the Razor Leaf, which is the best fast move that this Pokemon sadly currently learns. Again, there might be potential for the future though, where this thing gets a better fast move, then it's going to be top meta. But as you're going to take a look now at the Rillaboom for the Ultra League, we're going to see kind of a similar thing here. We're going to have here 8 wins, and we're going to go up to 15 wins, actually, which is quite solid. Like, you're going to get just a ginormous increase in terms of what it can do. That doesn't mean that this Pokemon is meta now. Absolutely not. Like, this Pokemon is still going to be rarely seen, and nobody really wants to run it because of Razor Leaf not being the best fast move, really. You don't really see anybody use this fast move anymore. But again, it's just potential for the future. Rillaboom now has actually the option, at least, to get like something like Mud Shot for the next season or something like this, and then actually being a solid pick for the Go Battle League. And this was not really thinkable before, because I didn't expect, personally, I didn't expect that they would go for the bolt move to make drum beating such a strong move. Like, drum beating is one of the strongest moves in the game now. And so like it has potential in the future, and so I would still recommend you to try to at least get one, because it's gonna get eventually maybe a new fast move, and then it's gonna be top meta. Now we can take a look a little bit at like the teams that I was suggesting you to run for the Great League, which is going to be back again on Tuesday. So like in a few days after, like 3 days after the community day, we're going to have here a very interesting team if you want to try out your Rillaboom for a little bit. We're going to have Bastion, we're going to have the Annihilate Sasop, and we're going to have the Rillaboom in the back. Annihilate Sasop is going to be important here, because what you have is with Rillaboom a Pokemon that is going to have a no play against any kind of flying type Pokemon. And so you have Bastion in order to cover that, and the Annihilate in order to bait them out, and still have Ice Punch to do some super effective damage against them. And so I do think that this is going to be a team that I at least personally would recommend you to try out. And I do think, again, that there are going to be better options compared to the Rillaboom at the current time. But if you want to try it out, I think Rillaboom is still a very interesting Pokemon to take a look at. But again, yeah, if you want to have a different Pokemon, you can still do that. If you want to just try out the Rillaboom that you got throughout the community day, this might be a team that is interesting for you. And same goes for the Ultra League, which is, I think it's, no, is it currently available? No, it's currently Retro Cup as well as the Master League, but still kind of want to take a look at the Ultra League here real quick. You're going to have an interesting team as well with a Talonflame, Virizion with double coverage, with Stone Edge as well as the Sacred Sword, not going for any grass type damage, because the Pokemon does grass type damage is Rillaboom. And what you see here already as well, and what I forgot to say for the first team, is the way you want to run Rillaboom is currently, in my opinion, purely as a closer. Why? Because this Pokemon is having the issue of not generating energy a lot, so it doesn't apply a lot of pressure early on. But what it can do is it can lock in any ground and water type Pokemon, farm it down, get out with a drum beating, or like the Earth Power as well, and then kind of punish whatever is in the back. And this is, I think, where this Pokemon could shine. This is where you kind of want to run this Pokemon, because, again, this is kind of the best way of dealing with the issues of this Pokemon as well, while still trying to utilize on it. So like a lot of times people are going to run like water type or like ground type Pokemon as a Sasop, or like you're going to be able to align yourself after the lead, and then you have here Rillaboom, which can take full advantage of it, which I think is kind of a good idea. And again, here we use it as a closer, and the same goes for the Retro Cup team. We're going to have the lead that is double weak to water as well as ground. Imagine having a grass type in the back that can deal with that. And again, our lead is going to be also very good against flying type Pokemon that we need to cover up. Regidrago here in the middle is basically just there to be one of the best Sasops in the current meta, but also it's going to be there in order to deal with those ice type Pokemon. Of course, we're going to have a weakness against Auroras, but again, against Auroras, you're going to have even Razor Leaf, which is going to do some super effective damage. So it's almost in the two-shield scenario, not too bad for Rillaboom. And so, yeah, this is going to be a very solid team that you can run currently in the Retro Cup with some interesting Pokemon. For Regidrago, by the way, again, there's going to be any kind of Dragon type Pokemon that you can run there. Goodra's fine, Dragonair is fine, Dragonite is fine, any Dragon type is fine. And so, this is going to be it for my little review for the community day. If you enjoy this, and if you want to see more like this in the future, then the best way is to do, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. And yeah, again, Let me know down below what's your thought about Rillaboom, and also what do you think the other Pokemon, like the other stars of that generation, has as potential, because to be fair, based on what they could do, they are the worst by far. Like all three of them are really, really low in terms of their potential. I made a list basically on trying to fix those bad starter Pokemon recently, like I think like 2-3 months ago, and those were the worst three of them: Cinderace, Rillaboom, and I forgot the last name, and Pokemon HE, which is perfect. But yeah, maybe they have some potential now if they decide to be a little bit bold with the moves that they're gonna get. So it would be interesting for the future. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you then tomorrow for some videos as well towards this Pokemon.